Gullybo.
So in 2003, I left school to start a band. I was 17 at the time, and I taught a friend how to play the bass. I didn't really teach him how to play the bass, I just sort of taught him how to play the main riff, the Iron Man riff. And I think he was learning how to read tabs, and then he sort of just went off on his own. And we had another friend who was learning how to play the drums, so the three of us joined up as a three-piece. And I didn't have any instruments of my own. I only had, I was borrowing a guitar from the bass player's housemate, and the guitar had, on the bottom of it, the frets were jagged. It was a cheap piece of shit. I think it was an Ashton or something like that, it might have been. But the on the bottom of the frets, it had these little burrs, and because we played in drop D, and I used to slide up and down the neck all the time, you know, just power chords, as I slid over these burrs on the bottom of the frets, I used to have these slices across my fingers, these two fingers, all the time, and like sometimes they'd be big wide open, they'd be bleeding. So I used to wear plasters, and then they would just rip to shreds as well on my fingers, the plasters. I didn't have an amp, I just used a shitty little, it was like a 15 watt amp or something like that. And then eventually I got this guitar, and I played this guitar in that band for 6 years. We recorded with it. It's a heavy, it's really a heavy guitar. Like, I'm surprised I never got shoulder problems or back problems. I do have back problems. Maybe that's why I have back problems. But it's a Hondo. The frets don't work properly. Apparently a Hondo was the guitar of the 80s, but I can't see it. It's wouldn't have even been the guitar of the 30s if it was invented back then. It's a piece of shit. So I played that for 6 years. So we played as a three-piece for 2 years until we found a singer. And then once we had a singer, it wasn't that long after that that we decided that it was time to record. So we got one of the singer's friends to record us, and we recorded in just a shitty, just a room, like it was a white brick room. That's all I remember about that room, was that it was white brick. And it was like a cavern. Everything just echoed in that room, and I don't actually remember anything about recording this EP. I've listened back to it; it's terrible, but I don't remember recording any part of it. That was 15 years ago. I haven't really thought about it since then, but I can't imagine that we separated and actually recorded each instrument separately. The vocals might have been recorded separately, but from what I've listened back, it does sound like we recorded the whole thing as one band, which is why there's heaps of mistakes and stuff like that. But I think we recorded it, we just put it up on MySpace at the time, and it got no traction or anything, and you can see why. It's fucking real bad. I've tried to bring some sort of decent sound out of it, but it's impossible. All I don't even have any masters. I've only got MP3 tracks that have been passed over computer by computer over the years, so the bitrate's gone right down. So it is what it is. It's a good picture of where we were at the time. One of the songs on their Excretion Chamber is the first full-length song that I actually wrote. Steve wrote the lyrics for it, but it's the first full length, and it's like 7 minutes long. I like the song. I still like the song. I think Steve really likes the song as well. But as far as a song, it's not. It's just a long stoner piece of shit, really, but I enjoy it. It's a good snapshot of where our band was and my songwriting was at the time. So this is Salient, the Brick Room Recordings.